Imagine Donald Trump got all his supporters, put them on a spaceship, and they went to another planet. And on this outer space mission, they have one person who is really, really expendable. And this person can go do all the dangerous stuff. And if he so happens to die, they can clone that person at will with no side effects. That is the movie Mickey 17. Personally, no objectivity, I loved it. But I also know that I love sci-fi and I love weird stuff. So when I think about why a movie with good performances, an original story, nice pace, and is also pretty entertaining doesn't make a lot of money, I have the perfect answer. And it is because there's no one that I could recommend this movie to. If you Google search, what is Mickey 17 about? It will tell you this. In 2050, to escape a murderous loan shark, Mickey Barnes and his friend Timo join a space crew to colonize the planet Niflheim, which is an ice planet. And all of that is very true, but all of that takes a back seat to Mark Ruffalo's impression of Donald Trump. And the creators of this might tell you we weren't trying to do a Donald Trump impersonation, and I would say, really? The characterization of the followers of Mark Ruffalo in this movie are identical to the fanatical MAGA supporters that you might see on the internet, right down to the red hats. Now, let's get into why I really liked the movie. Visuals category, Mark Ruffalo was a whole lot of fun to watch, more fun than when you will see him in most of his MCU stuff. Robert Pattinson, very, very solid performance from Robert Pattinson, which deserves a whole lot of praise that we'll get into in a little bit. But what's more impressive than the performances here are the visual effects and the inclusion of science fiction in such a plausible way. The technology that they use, even though it is advanced, it is very, very believable. The space exploration that they go on, very feasible. The cloning, the aliens, it's all executed quite well. And since we're talking about visuals, I want to give a whole lot of credit to Robert Pattinson here. Earlier this year, when the movie Sinners came out, lots of people praised Michael B. Jordan because he played two brothers. Robert Pattinson here plays two different versions of the same person. The thing that makes it stand out and is noticeable comparatively to Michael B. Jordan's performance is that it's the same person that has the same life experiences, but they see those life experiences incredibly differently. It would be as though you're looking at a person with depression and then you're also looking at a person with optimism. It's just two totally opposite views of those same events. And my only regret about this movie is that they didn't go far enough into the different versions of Mickey in Mickey 17. But let's talk more about box office and why it potentially didn't earn what it could have earned. I would also say the marketing matters because this movie is marketed as a super fun time and I was in. The only reason I didn't see this in theaters is because I was working in a difficult working situation where I could not get away to see this while it was on this theatrical run. When I did get a chance to watch it, I realized that the marketing made this look fun, but it is not nearly as fun as it is sold to be. More importantly than that, I'll go back to my original point that I made with the opening of the video. This movie will struggle or should have struggled to find an audience. I personally believe you got to be really eccentric to enjoy a movie like this. You got to be down with all the different weird sci-fi tropes that they throw out. And you also got to be down for somewhat of a political spoof movie, which are two very, very different genres, but they merge well together here. I gave this movie a 7.2 out of 10, which is a C plus on my scales. That does not sound like high praise. I'm trying in this case to be as objective as possible, knowing that it didn't have a huge audience and huge box office numbers, but also talking to or speaking to my own sensibilities. I know that I enjoy movies like this. And so for me, I had a great time watching it. But at the same time, I don't know anyone that I could rewatch this with or recommend this to. Not my mom, not my dad, not my wife, not any of my close friends. I don't know anyone who would watch something like this and get past the Mark Ruffalo Donald Trump impersonation or some of the weirder aspects of the sci-fi with the character dying repeatedly and gruesomely and stuff like that. So, but those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts about Mickey 17 if you have any. I really enjoyed it. That's all we got for this one, y'all. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.